Welcome back, y'all. Today, we're gonna start cutting or start laying out the lines on the frame to cut the frame and shorten it. I've done a lot of research, and a lot of people say the Z notch is the best way to go. But on this frame, it's almost a 1/4 inch thick, so I don't. It's gonna be too hard for me to do a Z notch with the tools I have on hand. So what I'm gonna do is, I think it's close to a 45-degree angle and another 45-degree angle, and you basically made them together, and we'll weld a plate on the outside to strengthen the welds in the frame. That's how I'm gonna do it. That's how I choose. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I chose to do. You could do it whatever the way you want it to do, whatever way you want to do it. I think this is gonna be the best for my option. We're going to take about 2 foot out of the frame, which will make it a 6 foot long bed. Alright, so we're going to do it a little different. I got the old scissors out, and we're gonna try something else. Get rid of that line. We're going to cut some cardboard. Sorry about that. And one thing when you're using cardboard is you don't want it to be sitting outside too long, especially here in, we're kind of close to the Gulf, about 150 miles away from the Gulf of Mexico, Texas, and things are really humid around here, so your cardboard gets pretty, it gets damp. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to look here. And this piece isn't long enough. So what I want to do a notch and then angle. What if we do that? Notch up, angle back. I think that might work. But let's get a bigger piece of cardboard. Alright guys, sorry about that, but I went ahead and cut out the design I think I'm going to use. So basically it's going to go like this here. And then we're going to come up here. I think that'll be a little better design. And we'll do the same for this side. Alright guys, so we got our gear on. We're going to cut this tab off here so I can finish out marking this side, and then what I'll try and do, we'll mark it out, and then I'm just going to score it with a cutoff wheel so that way my lines don't go away, and then I'm going to have to run to our local tractor supply and get some more cutoff wheels, and I might try the Lenox blade. Lenox sells a diamond coated cutoff blade. I might try it. We'll see what the price is when I get there. I read some reviews on it, and they say it cuts slower, but it lasts longer. So, I mean, I might go through, 2 or 3 regular abrasive cutoff wheels on this. So, we'll see what happens, and I'll keep you guys updated. Let's cut this piece of. This is your parking brake bracket. I need to go ahead and check the other side on which angles we're doing. I'm pretty sure it's like this, so we'll have to flip it and do it this way for this side and the opposite for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and go check real quick. So I screwed up, but I caught it in time. Like I told you, we're learning together here, and I wanted to measure the differences on the legs of the cuts, and what I'm calling is the legs of these vertical cuts here. And if I measure here on here, it's 2¼ inches down. I measure here is 2½ inches down. And so when you flip that, it's going to be opposite, 2¼ on the bottom, 2½ on the other side. So these are not going to line up. Luckily, so my little cutout here, I need to redo it because it's got to be, the legs got to be the same measurements. So that way when I flip the template, it's the same measurement on each side. And so what I basically got to do here is, so I take this here and just like redo it real quick, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So on the other side it's 2¼ down, where the point is. So this side I have to make it 2¼ There's the line. If I measure the other side, it's 2½ inches. So basically I have to bring my angle up to that. There. Instead of this one here, it's going to be the next one up. And I should, let's just redo that. I'm just going to redo it in Sharpie here. Alright you guys, so we're going to go ahead and cut this sections out on the truck. I got it all jacked up, and the back is jacked up, and then the front has 2 jack stands in the back, and then a floor jack in the front to keep it from tipping anywhere. Watch out for sparks.
It's 5 inches. A little less than 5 inches.
So we're a little off. Okay guys, so we got it together now. It was definitely hard getting it put back together and fitted up straight and evenly. I got just a hair of a gap underneath, or not gap, it's just not lining up evenly. But the tops are flush, so I'm fine with that. I'm gonna go ahead and weld around it, both sides. And then that's it for probably tonight. I'll have to cut a plate out to put over here, and we gotta weld the other side up. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, we're on the other side over here, and I'm running low wire speed, high volts for this here. All we did is cut 20 inches, I believe, 20 and a half inches out of the frame. And, you know, I did like a, I don't know what you're gonna call it, but a straight cut 90, and then a slanted cut, and then another 90 there. And to put them together, I put some C-clamps with pieces of metal inside the frame, so it'll go together and line up. I still got to weld the bottom down there, as you can see, but just to, you know, this side welded really nice, and then but the other side, the welder was acting up, and so I didn't get much footage of it because it was acting up so much. It's an older welder, older MIG welder, and it's just like, it's, when you first fire it up, you can weld, you know, anything really, and then it's like the duty cycle just starts dropping off, and it doesn't like to weld thick stuff at all after a while, which I understand. You know, the welder's heating up, it can't keep up, so it didn't weld as good as over there. Obviously this isn't cleaned up, but I got like a booger right there, and what I'm gonna do is just grind it all, everything flat, re-weld it, and then grind it again to put the plate. You know, I'm gonna leave this weld up here unground, but I gotta ground all the side metal to put my plate here, and then we'll box the other. We'll probably box the inside up, or put a strap, a piece of metal going down, just to kind of strengthen it. But I like the overall length of it. It's pretty. It's a lot shorter than what it was. And if I'm going to keep the body where it is, let me take a man. Check out that DT466 in there. I think it looks good. So today is the next day. Last night we finished up welding the inside and outside of the Shorten frame that we're doing here. Weld the inside there. And so today we're going to work on doing the plates. I got a bunch of plate metal in the back of my truck over there, and we are going to cut out a pattern here. Let's see. I'm thinking about just doing something like that. And so we're going to cut the metal out there. I picked up, went to our local Tractor Supply, and let's see where it's at. They only had 2 more abrasive discs, cut off wheels. I picked up a Lenox, 1,000 cuts, 1,000 plus cuts. So we'll try it out. I heard it's slower, but I'm not too worried about time or speed on this. And so I mean, I think we're pretty good. I'm gonna set you guys up. We're gonna cut that metal out. Probably first grind it flat. It's was cut with a torch, and it's almost a 1/2 inch thick steel. What we're using. Some beefy stuff. So I got some other stuff, but that's all. I want to use all that for my motor mounts. So I don't want to use the rest of it on back here. I'll just put that. I'll cut that plate, and we might cut that thinner stuff, the gray stuff, and put it on the inside. We'll see what we do. But yeah, that's what the plan is today. Get that all set up and ready to go. So that Lenox wheel, it works good, but man, it takes forever to cut through that metal. I mean, granted, it is 1/2 inch thick steel, but we got to cut out and so ground down a little bit. It'll burn a grinder up, cutting 1/2 inch steel, that's for sure. But I'm gonna let that grinder cool off a little bit, and then we'll grind the welds on the side, weld this side up, and then we'll let the welder rest, cut another piece out, and then do the other side. But man, that took longer than I wanted to too, but it's cut, so. Alright, so we're going to just tack it on, and then I'll take the clamp off, and we'll look at it and see what we think. Alright guys, so we got this side all welded up, finished. As you can see, I think it turned out pretty well. I mean, it's pretty thick, it's pretty thick metal, and I could have probably went thinner, but I got what I got, and I'm not gonna go buy anything right now. So we're gonna go ahead and cut up the other side and start working on it. Alright guys, so we're finished up here for today. I went ahead and off of camera, cut off 2 pieces of steel. They're about 1/4 inch thick, 3 inches wide, and I went and welded them on the inside. I'll show you here. As you can see, I did on both sides here. Just to kind of brace the inside. And I think it looks good. The other side turned out better. That side that you're looking at right now, this side's okay with everything on it. But other than that, it was a pretty productive day. We got a lot done. Next step is going to be working on the motor mounts, finishing those up, boxing them in, and getting the motor mounts, or the bushings, I guess you call them. You could call them bushings or motor mounts. And then go from there. I'm not really sure on what I'm going to use for them. Either I'm going to use, I can't find any like original stock DT466 motor mounts. And if I found like one set already, and it's like over $100 for me, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just buy round ones. I think I found some round ones for just like universal engine mounts, and that's what I'm going to use probably, because I'm not going to spend over $100 on 2 mounts when I need 4 mounts, and the front are different than the rear of the engine, so they're probably going to be circular mounts, polyurethane probably, and I'm going to see, I want to go as low as I can, so like only about 1 inch thick of polyurethane, because I don't want this truck to be too tall, and because it won't fit out of my garage when I do so. I've already jacked it up quite a bit since we got it in the garage, just to have room for stuff here and there, and it's looking like it might be a little too tall, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm going to try and go for the shortest I can and still be, still keep the engine from cracking or any kind of damage that would happen if I didn't have the right motor mounts. So, but other than that, and then after that, it's going to be working on cab mounts, and then probably, I'm not sure what I'll do next. Probably buy a battery, buy some cables, and try and get the engine started, and try and fill this garage full of smoke. We'll see. But other than that, I think it was a pretty good, productive, 2 days basically it took me to get everything finished. And I like the length of the truck. I think it looks fantastic, the length of it, like perfect. So, it's not too short, but it's just, it's the right length. I think I did a really good job on it. So, other than that, thanks for watching, you guys. It's probably going to be a long video, but thanks for hanging in there. Please hit the subscribe button and like this video. More content's coming to you. Next time you see me, we'll probably be working on the front of the truck, working on the front motor mount, and then I'll try and get into the rear motor mounts. I'm not too sure because it is a tight fit in there. I'm going to have to figure out how to jack this cab up and move it back with just 2 jack stands and a floor jack. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for watching, you guys.